Will Levis, I believe, is the highest graded quarterback for most teams remaining. They passed over him. There are questions, clearly, about the health and availability of Hendon Hooker at Tennessee.
Well, I would assume there is with him. Yeah,
he's supposed to be ready by, they say, like week 1 or 2 of the NFL season. He's supposed to be recovered.
He tore the ACL in November.
Right. So the question is, if Hendon Hooker gets pushed down your board and you are getting to 58, now we're talking about an actual question, I think, for the Cowboys. The Cowboys were not going to take a quarterback at 26 yesterday. No. If we're getting to the back end of the second and there is a quarterback of high value there, do you take him?
Let me ask you this.
I think that would be the discussion. I think they would have a discussion about Hooker at 58 if he was there.
In your professional, expert Dak Prescott cap opinion,
my Dak Prescott no cap,
right?
But yeah,
what is his contract really like?
After Lamar got 52 a year,
what's it going to look like?
Let's just say, like, as it is today, where it is now, the dead money on Dak's contract, if they were to move on from him, not this year, but after this coming year.
Now that they've restructured him, it's a ton. It's but let me look it up real quick. It's somewhere near like 70, I think. I mean, it would cost you money, a significant amount of money on your cap to release him
today.
Yes,
and then but what about after the 23
next year?
Season?
Even next year it would, because they restructured.
Then I mean,
but that's the thing, is that if you buy a lottery, that's why. Okay, that's why the extension has to get done, for you to massage the cap and be able to change things to where you could walk away at some point. The extension is always better than the restructure. I know some people go, I don't want to have to bail on this contract. I don't want to have to recognize that even though you're not adding years with the restructure, you are making it more difficult to walk away than if you just sign him to an extension. An extension sounds worse to people because they think, oh, you're getting yourself in for more years. It's easier to spread out the cap charge. It's easier to relieve the financial burden, and it's easier to create pseudo escape hatches to bail on it if things don't go the right way. Now they're at a point where, since they've restructured, they're stuck on this contract through the end of it. They can't walk away from it.
And how many years is the end of it?
He's got this year and next year on the contract.
So I don't know. If we're spending a second round pick, if the guy's not going to play for 2 years, I'm not down for that. It's like you're stuck with it. Stick with it.
But he's not playing this year because he's got the ACL, Hooker.
Yeah.
So he sits for a year, and then after he sits for a year, it's like,
maybe.
All right, here we are. We're final year, or you've gotten an extension and we're going to enter the final year. But at value, don't you want to take the Patriots approach?
I want to hear RJ tell me about him. And how did you feel about Hendon Hooker coming out compared to Dak Prescott coming out, who you love?
Now, Hooker's older than Dak.
Hooker's 25 years old, man.
Yeah, he's old.
He's an old guy.
That's an old hooker.
That is an old hooker.
Pretty woman. Julia Roberts out here.
So
these streets.
He's a very good decision maker. Even before the Josh Heupel offense that he played in, which is kind of a cheat code, he did not throw interceptions. He did not make mistakes. And he throws the ball downfield. Like, that's the thing with him. He will get the ball downfield. He will push it. He's very, very accurate. He's got a good arm. It's not like he's not Josh Allen arm, but he's got a good arm.
He's got a decent arm. The biggest question probably about Hooker right now is he's not a full late bloomer, but he definitely rose pretty significantly during his final year. That always raises some questions of, okay, are you a late bloomer, or are you taking advantage of kids who are not as developed as you in terms of mental processing with the game? Physically, they may be, but the mental processing is just different. And you've seen a lot of football here at college, and so that's always a question for people.
I do love that. I do love quarterbacks who saw 2,000 snaps in college.
Yeah. No. There's Broadus was talking about this yesterday on the draft show. His biggest fear now with quarterbacks is the 1-year starter.
Yeah.
The 1-year starter has terrified him because he said he's been burned by it too many times. And I don't have it up right now.
It's a long list.
There was a study that was released this week. I think The Ringer did it. And that was talking about the troubling history of 1-year starters.
Yeah.
And the hit rate is awful.
Very low.
It is so bad when you're talking about, like, and not just one-year starters across the whole draft. No, one-year starters that were first-round picks. It is bad.
Yeah,
it is a bad hit rate.
So my thing with him is, like, I could easily see he is like such a good decision maker, and he processes it well. There is one issue: he does take a lot of sacks, and that's a skill.
Dak did too.
Yeah,
and Dak learned from it. He gets the ball up pretty fast now.
Yeah, he does take a lot of sacks. That's a problem because he is prone to the strip sack. He's fast. Not Lamar fast, but he's fast. I wonder how fast he's going to be after the injury, though. And that's the other thing is we saw Carson Wentz be a completely different quarterback after that knee injury. He wasn't running nearly as much.
We saw Dak be a different quarterback after his ankle.
How's he going to be? How different is he going to be after the ACL? Because his running absolutely was a threat. But from throwing the football, he's legit. Like, he's a legit good decision maker. I think if New England got him, they would figure out how to use him so well.
So your answer, if he fell to the Cowboys today, would be
Dak's contract's going to screw things up. I would say no, because even though you can get out of it in 2 years, the biggest benefit of a rookie quarterback is that free 4 years.
But like Jimmy, when Jimmy went in the second round and you were able to turn that into, trade value, is it not worth just, hey, I'm going to hold on to this lottery ticket?
Trade him for
that says.
What's your answer to it?
I wouldn't hate if they took Hendon Hooker at 58. I'd be okay with it because again, I think I think Dak Prescott will hold the job. That's not the point. I think fine. You want to talk about a second round pick? The way they've used their second round picks in the past, the way they've taken Sam Williams and Randy Gregory, and I love Randy, and Randy worked out. But the way they've taken these character concerns, then I have no problem taking a quarterback who I think is a better potential lottery ticket at 58 back into the second round than something else. So if you can get that and you can have that as a trade chip. Now the thing about Hooker, we talked about this last night, Sean. Stroud and Young, part of the reason they both went as high as they did is they make NFL level progressions and reads. They are asked to go through route progressions and work in NFL offenses, and they've displayed that, hey, they can step into the NFL and they know how to go through the progression of route concepts. Hendon Hooker has not done that. That is not Tennessee's offense. Tennessee's offense is not the NFL. All right, here's the read, go through the receivers. So he's not been asked to do that. So that is a big jump that you don't know about yet.
It's far more Baylor. Their offense is far more Baylor, Art Browsey.
He does show, though, that he's got a nice release. He can throw with good rhythm. His footwork may be the best of any of the quarterbacks.
Is there any way I can talk you in a range to move up if Will Levis falls? Cowboys have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what they have left. They have one pick in each round left.
I like Hooker better than Levis.
Woo!
Hooker is a better player probably right now. Levis, I am very confident, will be a better player. I would have taken Levis before Anthony Richardson.
I mean, I can't kill you on that one.
Which, by the way, the S2 test that everybody talked about with Levis scored way high on that. And so for all the talk of Stroud scored super low, no team will want him, he goes second. And then Levis, wow, he scored super high, and then he falls out of the first round.
If you want a real scary thing on Hooker is that the best...
Get a test?
Yeah, the best defense he played this year, he looked awful against Georgia.
I'm not feeling fully sold on y'all's scouting report of him.
Are you stunned that we're sitting here talking about drafting a quarterback and it's me arguing for it against you?
I think the only reason we're doing it is because we're exhausted. I don't feel like fighting or picking a fight with you.
I've said, honestly, I would take... No, I've said this...
I'm proud of you.
And because, again, it's not even something where it's like, I think this is Dak Prescott's replacement. But if you want to have an insurance policy, fine. Yeah. Dak has shown he's been getting hurt lately. If you want to have a solid backup, fine. And if you want to have a trade chip, the mystery of the quarterback who's never played, who was a high evaluation, has pulled in so many teams that were desperate for anything.
But y'all didn't excite me with the scouting report. I like your scouting report. It's detailed. It sounds knowledgeable.
He's very good.
None of that excited me.
He's very good. The issue is he's hurt and he's old.
There's question. There's just unknown. It's not that he's shown a poor ability to get through reads and make reads. He hasn't been asked to do it.
That's too much unknown for me in the second round.